The Conceited Knowbody. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Yo, what's up? We back with another fantastic episode of the best podcast you never heard of, The Conceited Knowbody. You already know who I am. This is Terrance, a.k.a. the low-key legend. We up here slightly late. If you're not listening live, you don't know no better, so we on time. Anyway, fashionably late as usual. I wish he had ran here and slid in here and grabbed the microphone and started singing. The funniest man in the vicinity.
What's up, y'all?
What's happening?
I'm sorry.
Jason Richie in here, chewing candy with his mouth open. Please don't start smacking on the air.
Man, suck my nuts, nigga.
I have no idea who he's talking to, ladies and gentlemen. But we're about to have a great show. You already
What
know
up,
what
y'all?
we do it. To the right, we got the man who make it all happen, Renaissance Juvie. We got guests in the building. We don't disrespect our guests, but we always introduce the regular panel first so we can give you a star-studded introduction. We got Jason in, the aforementioned Jason.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We gotta get you just a fucking singular name, man. You too good for a whole fucking two white boy names. Just Jason and Richie.
I need to shorten it or something like J Rich.
No, cause then you be like.
How about
Jay
Jace? A nigga tried to shorten my shit from 5 letters to 4, nigga.
to Jace.
Jace. I
Oh,
was
man,
like,
you
nigga,
feel-
you lazy. Just
Don't
say
you
the whole
don't
shit.
you hate when people nickname you?
Yeah, I'm like, nigga, I didn't ask for this.
It be people who I've never seen in my life.
If we called him Jason R, that'd be different. Like Jason R, that way every time somebody says
It got a little mystique to it.
Jason
Yes.
R, Jason
It got a little mystique to it. Like some people call me LT or Tours, and I'm like, where you get that shit? My mother never called me that coming up, so why would you feel comfortable just stop being lazy and say my whole name?
I'm guilty too. I'm one of them.
What you call me?
Taurus.
You my friend, so you deserve.
Oh, you talking about like just
Strange.
random people? Oh yeah,
Random
okay, I
people I've
understand.
never seen in my
yeah,
life.
I feel you.
It's like an unwanted hug. You know what I'm saying? It's affection, but I didn't ask for it. And between the two hosts, we have our star attraction for the evening, recording artist, 5-time Emmy, Grammy nominee.
That's right.
The singer and songwriter of the hit song, or song that should be a massive hit, My Mind Tantra.
Oh yeah.
That song hard as fuck. Hold on, let me pause right there. That song right there, if I listen to it in the bed, like my legs be moving and shit, like I'm dancing and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of song, man, where you get the
Where you going with this? Listen to it in the bed.
It's just groovy.
Oh.
Hey,
Good,
listen,
How you grooving?
it's a groovy song.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Have you heard it?
No, I
You
haven't. I'm
definitely
sorry. I'm
gotta check
gonna
it out, man. Listen, I don't have too many.
You probably gonna play it, aren't you?
Had I had it downloaded, I would have played it.
Uh-huh.
But this is how we get people to go listen.
There you
I
go.
gotta hype the song up to go stream it. He get $1 billion. That's how this industry works.
Listen to that shit.
But no, we got Terrance Anderson here.
Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
We are here with a live studio audience, ladies and gentlemen. They are going wild. They were anticipating this.
Play that tantrum while y'all listening.
Yeah.
Terrance Anderson on all platforms.
And he's not only here by himself, he's here with his manager. Man, listen, what's your name on it? Let her say her name on here, because I ain't got. It's what, Ari or what is it? Ari. And see, that's what you need, Jason. You need a cool ass one, little Ari.
I need a Cher or a Madonna type of deal.
That Prince.
I like
Prince.
that. I'm gonna work on
Satan. You know all the one word identification name.
it. Dude.
Dude.
Hey, cause ain't nobody named Dude. They gonna be like, who shit is that, dude?
You know. Dude. But we here with Terrance. We had a string of fantastic artists here. He performed at our R&B, our Soul in the City event that we had this at the end of 2019. He had a fantastic show. Nobody did bad. And this is not like to just front or just be nice to everybody. Everybody did good. His performance stood out. I think at the time, I think I said that your performance was my favorite one. if you just around, like you just see Terrance, you introverted. Would you describe yourself as that?
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it come the same way. Like if you saw him, you'd be like, man, who is he? Just chilling and shit, and then you say his name, the lights hit him and shit, and he turned the fuck up.
It might come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like the side.
The sound effect and everything and shit.
Oh no.
He starts singing and people start fainting.
You said that shit come to him like Thor's hammer.
Yo, everything. That's it. But how you doing though?
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
That's what's up. It's nice to have you. Juvie, he got his first fight coming up. Not himself physical. I don't know if y'all know, but he's a professional fighter.
Yeah.
He's a professional boxer.
Yeah.
He trained
He
too.
knew me when I was a young amateur. That's funny. I used to see it every day.
Oh yeah.
You said what kind of fight is it?
Well, he's coaching.
Oh, okay.
That's how come I call him Renaissance Juvie, because he do everything. He make everything happen. He like the Swiss Army knife of.
Absolutely.
This is the Black History fact.
Salute to Soldier Junior.
And there's some water over there, just in case.
I got one. My bad.
Oh, okay. Well,
Now
now you have
you have
one.
water. I was giving you water.
Well, you know, I take mines.
but what's up with your fight you got coming up?
Man, so we got a young boy, Jay, sophomore high school. Say junior, sophomore, somewhere around that age. We only got him going tomorrow. He got a little brother who's actually we trying to get him a fight too. Little chunky dude, man. But he like, man.
Wouldn't you love your coach be introducing you on the ears, a little chunky dude?
Man, this little dude is so funny, man. When you see him, cause he's nice. He is so talented. Like he is really like skillfully one of the best ones in the gym. He's just lazy.
Wouldn't you like for your coach to tell you fat but you cute?
Yeah.
No.
I guess it's motivation.
Yeah, Juvie, this is first. This is first.
Coaching.
Both of y'all first match real.
Yeah.
So I told him before, we perhaps see history in the making. It's always dope to see people who earn things or are talented go back and recycle, basically. You know what I'm saying? Reinvigorate the community and use those talents to help other people.
I'm gonna give y'all a fun fact while we're on this topic.
Yeah.
Did you know that when older trees die, they spread all their nutrients and energies to all the little plants, and all the water and stuff that they got left in them to the little plants before they die?
Juvie is off every other Friday. Is you off every other Friday?
Yeah.
And he don't waste his time. He get these fucking forest facts. We know.
So we know now that if a tree falls
So
in
like
the middle of
this is the same thing with like, you know, when we get older and then we start passing stuff down to the youth. But that actually does happen. They actually there's a
Scientists say.
a project. I'm gonna make it real short, but they basically the plant ended up wrapping around this pipe that they constructed, whatever, and trying to get to the smaller plants so they separate. So it was something like that.
And that's more deep and more profound than people could probably imagine, because it just goes to show how destructive it is when you just start knocking down forests and stuff, and how it affects, you know what I'm saying? And in turn, it just goes to show how when you destroy somebody who's potentially a pillar in the community, how you can destroy the children who watching that person who don't have a chance to inherit what they learn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You had shows. And
No,
hold on. We are
just
professional
the
boxer. We are a professional comedian. He been all over the United States. I was gonna lie and say
You like
world.
50 tours since January?
I don't know what I did. It was a.
I mean, you probably really
He had a run.
Yeah, it was
January
I had to take a breather
shows,
for
right?
real. It was a lot of shows.
Almost 30 some. I'm about to say, because it was like 14 when we talk about it, and that was like the middle of
Something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm like, man. I'm just trying to, like I said before, I just keep looking forward and don't look back. Because when you look back, you're like, oh, they gaining on me.
Yeah. That's crazy though, because man, that's how it be.
But
You ain't did no shows this past
no, just open mics. I'll probably be at the comedy bar either this Thursday, the Comedy Bar in Chicago, either this Thursday or next Monday. So we'll find out soon. But yeah, that's it, man. Juvie, you said this is your first coaching?
Yeah, it's my first match.
So you stepping into a new role,
Yeah,
man. That's dope,
yeah,
man. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, right on.
But no, I know I definitely don't have no. I don't have. It's been mostly just stockpiling more work. I guess like writing and I'm trying to, like I said, I'm gonna release a comedy album this year, the actual stand up.
Yeah.
And so I've been compiling that and also just trying to write new stuff because, like I said, I'm trying to empty that old shit out of my head so I can go to the next level because I know that it's a bunch of dope shit that I'm just scratching the surface on. So I'm just trying to move forward as far as my creativity. So that's where I think that's where I'm at right now. Sure.
That's what's up. And from one boxer to another, we move on. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gervonta Davis. Are you familiar with Gervonta Tank Davis at all?
No.
When y'all play this back, y'all see that disappointment that ran across Jason's face.
No.
Gervonta Davis, he a boxer. He's under the tutelage of, damn, I want to say Floyd.
This was the most recent.
He fight for Floyd. He fight under the Mayweather promotion.
I did hear this name before then.
I want to say that he's under the influence of Floyd, but he's seemingly more directly under the influence of Adrian Broner.
For sure.
He run with him. He had an altercation this weekend. Gervonta Davis has been arrested. This is TMZ. For domestic violence for roughing up his ex-girlfriend at a celebrity basketball game in Florida. Cops confirmed the superstar boxer, currently the WBA lightweight champion, surrendered to the Coral Gables Police Department on Tuesday, February the 1st. Cops say the 24-year-old is facing one count of simple battery domestic violence.
Battery.
Perhaps. As we previously reported, Davis was seen grabbing and ripping his ex-girlfriend, the mother of his child, out of her seat during a heated altercation at the game. This is slick journalism, how they insert the words ripping and grabbing.
Yeah,
I've never seen nobody rip. Like when you see ripped, you think Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? It was ripped from the movie G. That's riveting. That is a hell of a...
And another good one, menacing. He was menacing. I was like, what the fuck? How do you menace a motherfucker?
What does they usually applaud? Menacing. It's
just
menacing demeanor. That menacing stare.
Usually when it's an interracial situation, like if you a black man and a white woman, she was like, he scared me, so he was menacing.
Yeah.
So he was
Crazy.
He was just walking around being menacing.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like,
Before the crime happened.
I wonder if I've ever been described as anything menacing. You know what I'm saying? That's incredible. I gotta put that on my bucket list. Before I have to be described as a menacing figure.
If you've been seen in public on a bad day, you probably been looking menacing in a motherfucker.
Hey, the argument continued backstage. Cops say as results of an ongoing investigation after being notified through social media and the victim. I didn't know she called the police. Davis was observed battering his former girlfriend, whom he has a child with. Davis surrendered himself. He said, "I never hit her once. Yeah, I was aggressive. I told her,
What?
come on, shit, goddamn, let's go. It's our been running. We in Florida. Let's go."
Is that what happened?
I'm starting to understand it a bit more. That's the mother of my child. I would never hurt her. Davis is, and I figure they probably. They said Davis is the rising superstar in the boxing world. He's Floyd Mayweather's protege, and he has racked up an impressive 23-0 record.
Wait, so why they waiting to the game for this shit though?
I don't know.
This shit been building up. This shit was building up. Like it took you that motherfucking long to get ready for this fucking game. Like he was going crazy. What was it, nigga?
Davis had a bunch of man.
What
Y'all can just read it. Every letter in bunch is capitalized. Davis had a bunch of legal issues over the years. He was arrested for assault back in 2017, allegedly for punching a friend. I guarantee he didn't play Madden. I guarantee he was talking shit on the sticks.
Oh God! But they can't put that in there as an assault.
And they said a bunch, and this was all you like. But back to the main point of the argument. The main thing in the argument is talking about the alleged encounter of domestic violence.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't seen the video, y'all get to check it out. The shit is, I think Juvie sent it to me.
Yeah.
It's relatable, to say the least. Like it was nothing menacing. He didn't punch her headbutt or none of that shit. He went over there. He snapped. He ripped her out of her seat.
He did snatch her out of her seat.
No, he ripped her. It was a rip. It was a rip. I wish y'all seen it. My issue with this is them calling this domestic violence.
So you pulled out her seat, and this was the domestic violence that was reported. Okay.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
Yeah, no,
but it was like the car running, so it's relatable. What was your thoughts when you seen that, Juvie?
Man, shit, it was just one of them ones that was like, you said he ain't hit her, and then like you really don't even know what happened because I mean like your woman know how to push her buttons, and like certain women, it's just like they just don't have enough. You know, they just may not respect the dude enough to not push those buttons. You know what I mean? I feel like shit, a woman can take you there cause she know you. So it's like I don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? And see, right, what you punched her, he ain't punching them like they probably just like, man, hey, get your ass up.
and I gotta know, like, what if it was?
Shit, I'm like, shit, what, you know?
What if it was the dude
I
getting
would've
snatched
did it.
up by his wife though?
Yeah.
They had said that she's a
I
strong
feel
woman.
like really the only issue.
She's asserting herself.
See a certain. Okay.
Yeah,
I just got to know.
but that's the times we in though. With that,
I feel like you can't put that in the same category as domestic violence, man. Cause motherfuckers really getting beat up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers
That's
really
some crowd
being,
wolf,
you know. So.
the thing is that it was enhanced because of his celebrity.
Was she bruised?
I have no idea.
I'm not gonna say that's changing. I just want to know what was reported.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers get snatched up every day.
The thing,
Yeah,
You know.
female get snatched.
the thing with it was like the emphasis. One of two things: he's a celebrity, and two, that was caught on live camera.
And he's a boxer.
Yeah. He a
Yeah,
boxer too.
Okay.
but
They
he's
trying to
about
play
as
that.
tall as his table.
That's why they're gonna try to play it up.
But another thing with it was the crowd reaction. Like when you look at the people, they've never ever seen this happen before. When you see how they look, I mean, I'm like, shit, I need to rewind this again because they had to see something I ain't never seen. It's like they had that wild look. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time you seen Jordan jump from the free throw line, wild look.
This was Miami,
Coral something.
Florida.
I ain't gonna lie, if a nigga just did that shit out nowhere in public, like if I was at a game, I probably would have been like, damn.
That's
But I wouldn't have been, you know, being
Yeah.
overly like, you know, everybody got their phones out,
Yeah.
everybody like, I ain't doing all that. I'm like,
As a matter of fact, I come over, I overrated the rip. Just rewind it back, check it out. I overrated the rip. I think she was a bit heavier than he anticipated when he went for the initial grab. He kind of like snatched it, and he kind of had to get a little bit more into it and shit to get her all the way up.
yeah.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Is that assault to you?
Did he grab her coat?
Yeah, he got a coat.
Like she's a chump?
See, they think he throat grabbed her. That's what the perception
He
is.
grabbed her throat and he
I think
grabbed
the
her- he
initial
grabbed her arm.
perception is he throat grabbed her ass like
No, he
motherfucking
grabbed her, he
Undertaker.
grabbed the front of her coat, picked up on her seat and grabbed her arm like he.
But what's alarming about this is like he's
That's all.
in a situation where he's with people who, damn, cause
I done been grabbed up like that by my mama in public.
and I wonder if we can like I have too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what?
And if she sue, I think my mother has some bad news coming from my lawyer. but the thing is, how like social media, how like I don't know how I want to say it, but how damaging can it be to everyday life,
They the new jury.
judge and jury?
Yeah, all of that.
Because this is a personal situation that bled outside the home, and my biggest issue is not how that he grabbed her like that. It's that he had to grab her like that. And what I mean by that is, if this is your woman, they saying it's his ex. I don't know. If it's his ex, it does create a different view. Yeah, but if it's just say for instance, if it's somebody who you currently with, you will hope that y'all have an understanding and level of respect that she don't do things, you know what I'm saying, that provoke you to do this in public. And we don't know what happened. I don't know exactly like what was said.
Nobody know what was said, but I'm
Yeah.
like, that was some control though. If it was something extreme, like what?
So
the
he showed
fuck?
restraint.
So
Yeah, what the
like
fuck,
if he was that real, if he's really that mad, you know what I mean? Like
I think niggas is just more marveling. Like that shit was cold. How he grabbed it up so quick, like a ninja. Like what you?
man, like you said, you just don't, you know, man.
At all.
Social media, man, I always say it's a gift and a curse. Me myself personally, I think it's a necessary evil if you're trying to be any sort of kind of creator. You sometimes have to overexpose yourself, and people feel like they grasp for you, and and then they figure out they can just like they know you. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because you can in turn become like denigrated or looked at somebody who's some kind of evil entity or. We see at a million times where celebrities be out with their families and they want to sign an autograph and somebody recorded talking about The Rock's a dick, man. He wants something on my daughter's hat.
Right.
And now everybody like, The Rock's a dick. He don't sign daughter's hats.
Mm-hmm.
And people can just make their own narrative based off of your life. He's a prime example. This is a teaching moment to anybody coming up, especially boxers, fighters, any kind of entertainer. It's always a camera on you. It's always somebody watching you. It's somebody not just watching you.
You gotta know too, like if you're doing some aggressive shit as a professional too, like, or just you just a big nigga in general, niggas is scrutinizing like your every little.
And in his defense, though, when he's interacting with her, he's probably not thinking I'm a world champion boxer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but you always have to be on at all times because it's not only somebody watching just to see what you're doing. It's people who actually,
I bet he wasn't thinking about that shit.
unbelievably, it's people actually watching, and it's not even just on this kind of high level.
Yeah.
It's a level on this. I don't want to say low level because I think everybody at this table is tremendous talent, but it's always somebody there waiting to write your obituary, so to speak. It's always somebody there waiting to see you fall so they can run back and post it and hee ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
This situation is terrible, not only for him but her too, though. I mean, everybody look crazy in it, but the domestic violence issue, that's my only issue with it, because I don't understand.
Yeah.
I understand it, but I don't.
I'm just like, damn, how? I mean, that nigga did that shit quick, bro. Like,
I'll get you at the end of the fight. Great fight, Gervonta, but in your last fight at the gym, how did you move with such fluidity when you were snatching?
how did you have such precision to grab the coat and not the body?
And I grew up watching my dad and my mom argue. But moving on to some music, because after we're gonna chop it up with our guests, our esteemed guests. Last week was the Grammys. We didn't talk about them much. I'm not really into these superficial awards. But there was some kind of pre-Grammy get together with all the elite bootleg black musicians.
Was that Jay-Z breakfast?
Yeah, they had
Foundation
where it was so much money, so much influence, so much talent, so much history in this particular setting. Man, I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna say venue.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know, but anyway, it was a lot. I don't know what was going on with it, but something that came out. First, Puffy always got a halfway drunk speech and shit every time he gets a microphone.
He said some more weird shit again.
He said some legit shit.
Oh, okay.
And just to paraphrase, he said, "We all got this money. We need to stop bickering with each other. We need to quit letting these white people use their less than stellar business practices against us because they robbing us. They're literally robbing us." In response, his former protege, Mace, the former preacher. Y'all ever seen Mace when he was preaching? Segue real quick. You ever seen any of his sermons?
Really? He's preaching?
Have you ever seen
Just
it?
one.
Have you?
Just one.
You only need to see that.
I can't say that I can remember nothing he was talking about.
I'm gonna tell you what he was doing. He was sitting there looking like Murder Mace, but he was doing this. That preachers do. Mace was doing it. I said, "Come on,
He's
man."
playing it up. I heard preachers supposed to do this, so
On everything. It was the most hilarious thing in the world. But back to the story. He wrote Puffy, I think it was on his Instagram. And he called Puffy out on it. He was like, how are you talking about how they do us is sort of bad business when, what do you say, 24 years ago, I saw my publishing over as a 19-year-old to you for 20 racks. Of course, Mace in 90, like right after Tupac and Biggie passed away, Mace became a superstar. You know what I'm saying? For a short spell, Mace was that motherfucker. He made some hits, string hits. Of course, at 19, in that day and age, we don't have internet or these horror stories. You don't know what publishing is or what it entails. You coming out of Harlem, you just happy to get some money. You happy to have some flashy cars and things to that nature. But he wrote the open letters, like you talking about the business practice of these people. When I asked you, I told you I give you $2 million to buy my publishing back. You told me that if I can match what the white man was going to give you, a particular white man, he didn't name a name, that you would give it to me. But you talking about the business practices that they use. And I don't know how Puffy can retort.
That was my first thought.
Yeah.
I was like, what about Shine? What about G? What about Black Rap?
Yeah. And that's what he pointed out that was some of the things that, you know what I'm saying, like you should be talking against yourself because you practicing the same egregious practices that they are themselves. This was like, for me, I always say my favorite era of hip hop was the mid to the late 90s.
Yeah.
That's my favorite where I can still pull up on Google Play and play all those songs and shit, listen to DMX like, we know you on crack, but you dope. It ain't like today, nigga, you on crack, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, we let him smoke crack then because he putting out good shit. Now we're like, man, this crack has really fucked you up, baby. that era of DMX, that shit, but... So this is where I got a soft spot in my heart because I'm growing up, and as an adult, I can say this. I looked up to these people in some sense. Like, I wish that I was doing that kind of stuff. What I would give to have a horse and carriage. Until Mace came up with this song, I didn't know. But when he said it, I said, man, I got to get one of horse and carriages. You know what I'm saying? But as an artist, I'm going to go straight to Terrance with this one. Who do you feel like when, because Puffy can play it like it's just business as usual. How much, and me myself, I don't want to be in any business where I gotta put my humanity aside, where I gotta disregard somebody's livelihood. I understand business, but I understand humans even more than I do business. So some things I can't do. As an artist first, how in tune are you with your business?
I'm very in tune with it. Like it's something that I think every artist should learn. Like as they like create music, you also have to learn the music business because that's what it is, the music business. Like they don't really like go off of talent as much. It's just about what you can do for me and what I can get out of it.
And then just to go to this particular situation, Mace and Puffy, they had the big brother, little brother kind of dynamic between them. So you see it was a trust factor. Puffy, I think he endeared these artists, especially Biggie, to where that's my best friend. When Biggie got killed, that's my best friend, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Where he had these people feeling like he had their best interests at hand. And it's just typical. He just did what the white people was doing to them to his artists. In this situation, do you see it right and wrong?
I guess the way I see it, I guess you can't really make an excuse because you're a black person. Like we always go against like the white people that own these labels that's doing the artist wrong, but when it comes to like black executives and stuff, we don't put that same pressure on them. Also from the artist point, you should just educate yourself, on the music business and what you're getting into. I guess after all these years, he should have learned like the business side, and he should have made his moves to be strategic, and to get that publishing back.
And just real quick on the public, Puffy said you can't wait till you're 50 where it go back to you anyway. You can't hold out for 6 more years, you know what I'm saying? Be patient. But what you said was something that I didn't even think about originally was how we don't hold the black record labels or record label owners to the same standard that we do whites. And that's deep to me on so many levels. We have a tendency to give more blame to white people for our issues than we do ourselves. Like, it's a lot of times we can help ourselves, but it's just something about that. And I always say that it depends, because we want some kind of acceptance from them. We want them to say, you did good, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something like that. But Berry Gordy was the first person that came to my mom. If you listen to anybody from Motown, if you go back and read any of those stories, the common denominator between them was Berry Gordy fucked everybody up over their points. He owned everything. The songwriting he had. The only people who really making money was the songwriters. The Ashford Simpsons. I forgot the Dozer. I forgot all their names, but if you was writing songs, you was making money. But the artists such as Marvin Gaye, Mary Wells, and these other people, they wasn't making as much money as they sing. And even to go further away from that time into the future, which is old now, but the death row situation. As far as liquid assets, Tupac was broke. He had a lot of money potentially coming his way, but when he passed away, he was broke by their standards, definitely not by mine. But the contracts wasn't right. That was one of the big things with Suge Knight. It's like they don't have a blueprint on how to operate in that position.
And the same with Biggie too. I mean, even though his family giving him a kickback, like his biggest shit was right.
And this time with the Puffy thing.
Yeah, and it went dead to him.
So it's hard for me, like, to being objective and being honest. Puffy not wrong. It's as fucked up as it is, but from a moral standpoint, you very wrong.
He just ain't the nigga to be saying it.
Yeah.
That's it. Translation.
Hey man, when we get up here, Meek, I want you to say this.
You might as well got a damn puppet.
For real.
You know what I mean?
But that's just some of the pitfalls in music and stuff. And while we're talking about the pitfalls, we want to talk about the future and perhaps one of the people who lead in the new school of business, and not just business but artistry. And this climate is totally different from when Mace was doing this thing. They were more dependent on record labels. That age is gone. That's like the boob tube, the VCR, the DVD even.
And so like what Terrance said, that's why you gotta be business savvy on the independent side, because you gotta know what you marketing to and who to market to. Like, I think that's why a lot of people end up trying to market to white people initially, because it's not necessarily acceptance, but I think it's like that's the majority. So
you think people market towards white people?
No, I mean, like, what did you just say? What did you say earlier about?
I'll say so much shit I forgot.
You said something about being
they're
accepted
looking
by.
for that. It's like for a hug.
Yeah, and I'm saying I think it's a percentage. I think it's a percentage of people. I think the other half of the people are like, you know what? This is the most motherfuckers. So let me try to make something that can appeal to the most.
When I was saying, I was in a different context. I was saying in the context of where we always blame white people for our issues. Matter of fact, you had got up.
You're right.
But we have a tendency to over blame. Because like, if you know that this person hates your guts,
why you gonna keep?
Why are you keep trying to get him to love you? So you just like, I won't do deals with you over here. I'm gonna deal with somebody who genuinely wants to work with me.
Yeah,
but it's like something like we have to get in the building. We have to get a Grammy. We have to have that.
They think it legitimizes them.
Yeah, and it's sad because we still got that slave mentality where we need to be accepted by their standards. You know, then don't talk like that. Don't eat chicken in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But I do want to talk about something more cool. COO. See how I tied that in? I'm a bad motherfucker sometimes. That was a hell of a segue. If y'all follow Terrance, y'all know where that came from. But no, we got Terrance Anderson up in the building, as we previously mentioned. And it's a pleasure to have him here. A fantastic artist, singer, songwriter, retired rapper. I'm on my cool facts, man. Hold on, let's get that established. I'm on my cool facts. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
It's good to have you here, man.
Appreciate it.
So you was rapping before you started singing?
Well, I started out in the choir as a child, then I eventually started as I got started in my actual music career, I started as a rapper.
Okay.
And
Like,
then we talked about this last week. It's always the church. You know what I'm saying? That's always the catapulting stuff into the industry, and it's been like that since forever. Like we always start our talent in the choir reluctantly. You know what I'm saying? How long have you been singing like as an individual?
Say I've been singing for about 10 years.
And how old are you?
28.
28. That's fucked up because he's still a young man to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel so 28, man. I gotta sit back and shit and reflect. Like when I hear 28, man, I gotta relax and tell a story. But no, that's what's up. So you, prior to that, you was the MC. What was your name? Because everybody got. What was your name? What was your name?
Terrance said he had a stage name.
Hell no. Hell no. He had a stage name.
I had a stage name. This is actually going to be a cool pack that I'll be dropping later on this week. But my
You
name
heard it
is-
here first. We got exclusive. I gotta get it. Well, what is it?
My rap name was Mr. T.
Oh!
But it was T-E-E.
Hey, listen. When I used to rap, you know what my first rap name?
What?
D Nice. My sister gave it to me. I had no idea it was a real D Nice out in the streets in New York and shit. My sister had me out here fraudulent as shit. What was yours? You always been Juvie.
It was Juvie Too Cold.
Juvie Too Cold. Hey man, listen. We all out here with some goofy ass graffiti names and shit. My whole dream was to spray paint my name on somebody fucking side of an abandoned train. I just need to see my fucking spotlights. I just need to stop train.
Nigga, we killing the freight train game, nigga.
How old was you when you started rapping?
I was about 12. Yeah, about 12.
And this how I always, and I think it's because I always put it on myself. I try to make it seem like it's universal. And if you can co-sign this, I feel so much better. I hope it'll be a cool fact. Was your first rap written like about a girl you like?
Nah.
I'm a fucking lame. I was lame as shit. I ain't know. I thought this was we all got started. You know what I'm saying? Well, how did you start rapping?
My first rap.
I guess like my brothers, like they was rapping and stuff.
They older
like,
than you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like him and his friends started rapping, and I was just around it.
What was you talking about? Cause was you okay? Let me hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me do my math. How old was you? You said 12. 12. Okay. 16 years ago, 2004. Was it a white tee? What was Malaffy Taffy? What was the influence you at that time?
Well, that's my nickname, T. So
Yeah.
that's what my family used to call me. So I just put the Mr. in front of it, like Mr. T.
And what was you rapping about as a 12-year-old?
I was actually doing gospel rap.
Oh yeah.
So
How aware of Mr. T are you actually? Have you seen anything?
Do you know it's a Mr.
Yeah.
T? But
Did you look it up before the name or
Yeah,
after?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Or you just knew off top like Mr. T? That's that nigga. Like I want a name like that.
Yeah, I got it from the actual Mr. T. And I thought it.
That's cool. That's cool.
At least you know who that is though. That's my point.
Shout out to Baracus, aka Clubber Lane. That's that 80s shit right there.
Yay.
So when you was gospel rapping, did you do that at church?
Yep.
Did you? How was receptive was they at?
They all liked it. You know, growing up in the church, you know,
Yeah.
everybody embrace you, and when you start like doing something that's like different, you know, they champion you. You know.
Yeah. Like was you like between the moms and right before the praise dancers? Hey, you ever see praise dancers in church? Man, that shit be fucking crazy. Them motherfuckers really be groovy.
When you actually started recording music, were you still rapping? That's when you transitioned to singing when you started recording.
I actually started recording. Like when I started rapping, that's when I started recording. Like
Oh, you just got some tracks out there? Is some tracks out floating around?
Probably.
In the deep space, you
Maybe
gotta
they be
find
out
them.
there.
You gotta dig them up.
Was it like when you was, because this is unique because we never had someone who did gospel rap. When you, like, how was it? Did you ever get into like quote unquote secular music, as far as being a rapper?
I was always like around like secular, what they call secular music.
And when I say that, I use the term loosely because that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So you was Lecrae before Lecrae, huh?
That's correct.
That's
Uh,
right.
That's
Oh,
correct.
that's correct.
Somewhat.
So when did you make a transition from gospel rap to R&B, or was it gospel rap to Just gospel music, then R&B? Or what was the transition?
Yeah, it was from gospel rap to R&B. I always been around like R&B music, like that's what my mom used to play, and you know, like Genuine, Silk, 112, all that. But she also used to play gospel music, like Kurt Franklin, Fred Hammond, and all that.
What's your favorite gospel song here? One. Just one.
I don't know, it's hard.
I don't listen to so-called
I
gospel
would say
music.
it would probably be a Kurt Franklin song off of one of his older albums.
My favorite one is it's only all the older people favorite. I Won't Complain. That shit's so hard. That song, if I ever call gospel song hard, that song right
description
there.
of a gospel song. That shit
Hard. That shit hard, man.
Let's pray with
That shit feel like soul music though, man, because you can relate to it and stuff.
Gratefulness.
Here go my uncle fact. The singer of that song, I can't remember his name. He was young. He was probably like 31, 32, something like that. He got killed. Like somebody tried to rob him and stuff. They killed him, whatever.
Yeah.
But that we're not here to talk about sad things. So when you made your transition to, and you said that you were brought up listening. See, he had brought up on the shit that like, if I had a soundtrack in my life, this kind of shit be playing lowly in the background. I walk through the school halls getting turned down by the girl I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my pony, get away from me. But that kind of stuff. The Genuine, the 112. 112, first album, one of my favorite ever.
That shit was
Yeah,
dope.
fuck with that shit with Cupid, Y.
I missed that era. That's why I was asking about the
I
boy.
know.
I mean the male groups.
Yeah. What was some of the songs that influenced you, like when you was like, I want to do this for a career or whatever?
I guess at the time, like, I think this was around when Drake started like coming out, or I would say Kanye West, then Drake, kind of influenced the whole rap singing thing. So it was like, I started to sing on my songs because it was like, I couldn't find nobody that could actually sing it how I needed it to be sung, you know, give that emotion
I
and
can
stuff.
relate.
So I just started singing my own hooks and stuff. And I just kind of like fell in love with the rhythm and the melodies, and I was always a big fan of R&B, so I just kind of like naturally,
that transition.
drew more to that.
And if it was just like, so you said, okay, the Drake and the Kanye. And again, that Drake, that first mixtape he had, I don't know if his first mixtape, but what was that shit? So Far Gone? No, what was the mixtape?
I was like October Very Young.
It was the shit that had the Shell Silverstein type of cover. The one with Successful when they were Trey
Oh
Songz.
yeah, So Far Gone. Yeah.
I'm not
So,
a huge Drake fan today, but that's one of the greatest mixtapes ever. Easily top 3.
Sure.
It is ridiculous. That's what I heard that shit. I was like, damn. Cause I had heard of Drake. One of my nephews kept talking about it. Gears, shout out to Gears, and it was dope. So when did you have you all given up on rapping altogether?
I still kind of rapped as I was like singing. I think I kind of like gave it up probably about maybe a couple years ago, and just really like focused on like being an R&B artist and really like working on my craft as a singer and getting my vocals right.
And you said this is about 10 years ago?
Yep.
So 10 years ago puts you at 18. 2013 puts us in 7 years ago. So after you started your record label. See, people don't know, man. These are cool facts. If y'all don't know this, I feel like I know some shit that y'all don't know.
I mean,
'Cause I did my research.
look,
No, but
all inside jokes.
right. When you started your record label, what prompted that? And first off, can you tell people what the name of the label was?
Yeah, it's called Limited Edition Music Group, LEMG. And I started it when I was in college. I was watching this video. I think Pharrell was doing an interview, and he was like, you know, something about getting a crew of people that's just like you together. And I just kind of like stuck with that idea of like having a crew of people that's like me, that, you know, that would kind of like help me out in my career. So I just like started my own little like group and stuff.
And when you say a group of people like you, ideally it sounded good, but as you were going, did it seem impossible to do that? Because when you say like you, man,
Yeah.
it can be, because that's like the idea I have is some things, but I had to adjust it to like-minded. You know what I'm saying? People who want to be successful,
Yeah.
and people who don't mind putting in work. When you was looking for that, was you looking for that, or was it something like I gotta find somebody exactly like me?
I kind of like already like associated with people that was kind of like doing the same things. So it was easy to like recruit people to be a part of the label. And when I created it, like I had went to college for like business, so I was always like into like the business part of the music side. So, yeah.
So how many of their publishers did you buy for $20? Being that you were into it from a business side at such a young age, so that's a young age. We seen young moguls like Jermaine Dupri when coming up, but he had his father, had him. A lot of people don't know his father was in the music business, so it gave him some kind of blueprint. Do you have anybody ahead of you and stuff trying to help you with the business? Anybody older? Trying to give you pointers?
Not really. At the time, I was just reading books, reading what's it, Donald Passman, everything to know about the music business.
So just teaching yourself and doing
Yeah,
your own business.
YouTube. Yeah, just learning from other people like Puff Daddy or like Jay-Z, other artists that had their own labels at the time.
And that's crazy because when you have a natural talent, and we can attest to this, you just start learning things on your own. 'Cause a lot of things you do, you learn on your own, right? Or just watching people and stuff, observing. What was the culmination of the label? Did you just leave it alone?
It still exists.
Do it.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what's
signed
up.
to myself.
That's dope. That's the best thing to do and stuff. Do you have any other artists that, like, when you were at peak with the label, did you have any people on the label?
Yeah, I had a couple of artists, a couple of local artists. I don't know if you know Rahima McNeil. She's a rapper, female rapper. I had this guy named Cartoon. That was his rap name.
Cartoon.
Yeah, and some of my other buddies that I came up with, Eli Miguel and MC1, but now his name is Ascribe. But yeah, it's a couple.
For some reason, the Scribe stand out.
Oh,
I
see,
heard
this
that before.
sound familiar.
What? So are they still active in music?
Some of them are, but I would say a couple years ago when I like really started focusing on my career, I kind of like let them kind of like go on and do their own thing, because I was kind of like doing everything in the label. They also helped me out, but I was like producing the beats for them, like recording, mixing their tracks, helping out.
So
with
what was you gonna do? You ain't had time to stand out for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I really didn't have time to work on myself as an artist, and I just kind of like sacrificed my art just to help them out.
Definitely
Get
the
ready
cost
for some
of
cool
being a
facts.
boss.
Get ready for some cool facts
Yeah.
too. Started mixing when you was 15.
Yep.
Mixing cool. So that's how I got the other cool fact. His favorite color is blue, but he always wear black. So when you let him go into the meeting with you in all black with pistols, you saw like how violent was this? I need the facts to be like that. Now look, this house gonna be. No, but how hard was it mixing? Cause were these your friends prior to the?
Yeah. Yep.
How hard was it to be like, man, I can't fuck with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Because it's tough. It's tough. I started my podcast with my cousin, one of my close friends.
I figure like once you stuck up there, like I can't do this no more, then they gotta find a place to record, get their beats and all that stuff. So
I wouldn't say they became dependent on me.
Okay.
I would say it just got to a point where we was growing up. We was all still trying to figure it out. So we
So y'all kind of just started
just kind of parted ways. And I just made the decision just to let them go and have them try to boss up.
And at what age was it when Bobby left New Edition. Now, what age did the label? Well, they depart from it. How old was you then?
About 25.
And that's when you just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And is this when you got management at this time right here?
Yep, I rebranded myself. Just went with my regular name, Terrance Anderson. Just got my wife now to manage me. Because she's the only person that I knew at the time that had those skill sets that I needed at the time.
That's what's up. Shout out to Ari again.
Yep.
I about feel like a white person, man. I didn't say that name fucked up. I about to be on some goofy shit. You know they do it like.
So how did that come about? Did he just like ask you? Just ask her one day, would you be a manager, or was it her idea? Like,
Well, we went to college together, so she seen me as an artist, as a rapper, and singer.
It all started out with panties on stage.
Yeah, so she was automatically a fan, so she supported me since then.
That's juicy. You a fan? Ooh, dog, go ahead. That's dope.
I gotta ask though. You say you started in the church. Did you start singing in the church, or did you? Okay, so did you not think? Were you just not interested in like doing gospel music, or like what did you not veer away from? Did you not think you could get that same level of success that you wanted from going the gospel rap?
Yeah, like the gospel business, or for hip hop artists that do gospel, it's the business is totally different from the mainstream business.
Mm-hmm. But you were going into it doing R&B though.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. It's just something that I just kind of like.
That shit was whack, wasn't it?
that
That shit was whack,
I
wasn't
just
it?
think it's funny.
I mean, just you guys.
I think it's funny that it's a whole gospel music industry because they all still fucking.
But that's like the that's like
Why is it separate?
that's like the G League or some shit.
Yeah,
though,
I'm like,
man.
why is it separate? If you either good, or you need to make good music.
That's
or you
how
don't.
it be like that, though,
Yeah.
man. It's
Okay.
like it.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of like.
Not a crossover like Kirk Franklin.
He's like an exception, like. Because
Because
Kirk
he was
Franklin
still dipping and dabbing in that regular music industry ass.
But he's actually signed to a major label, RCA. It's just under.
Plies, right? That's his rap name. Right? We know.
Yeah, I mean he's still major. It's just like when it comes to the hip hop artists that that do gospel, you kind of find like majority of them is like black people going into like these big white churches. So it's like
That's why that.
how can we like connect and relate? Not trying to make it
Back
a
to
race
square
thing,
one.
but-
Back to square one. Trying to fit in.
It ain't even like the racist part. It's just reality. You gotta go shuck and jive. You
Yeah,
gotta
but-
say yes, Lord, as loud as you can, and as unaggressive as you can. Yes, Lord. And they gotta be comfortable with you. But back to the management situation. When you chose to have a manager, and I'm gonna tell you this, I gotta apologize to y'all, and I'll say this in all sincerity. I'm not used to people having managers, so I usually reach out to the artist directly. When I'm like, in hindsight, I'm thinking, damn, I should hit the manager, especially in this situation right here. So if I hit y'all up again and stuff, if I do hit him up, it's an accident. It's just muscle memory and
It's all
stuff.
good. It's
But
all
now
good.
I like the structure of how y'all got it professional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and,
that's
How
how,
it's supposed to be.
and how it's in unison. You know what I'm saying?
Focus.
Yeah.
What's the toughest part about working together? Because we pretty much get the pros of it, but like, what's some of the cons? Have you ever had the desire to rip her from her seat?
Just by the coat. Just by the coat.
Right. Not
You
that.
ever walk in and unplug the studio session?
You gotta go.
So what's the toughest part about working together?
I think the toughest part will probably be just trying to execute the creative ideas that we come up with.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like we conversate about, all right, maybe we should do it like this, or maybe we should do it like that. That's just about it.
Are you musically inclined?
What you mean?
Like, do you sing or anything?
No, I do not.
Okay. That's cool. Keep a beat.
That is not me.
Okay. Well, is that good though? Because to have somebody not doing what you're doing and stuff, do you think it offers a balance that you're looking for? Because a lot of times we see couples who are in the same industry, and for some reason, two that come to my mind is the Bobby and Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's different, but usually people who are in the same industry don't last long.
Yeah.
Do you think that you not being a singer or anything in the industry that it adds, you know what I'm saying, stability to y'all?
I mean,
She looking like, nigga, you got that number on your phone last night. I'm from stable right now. No, you.
I mean, I don't think that would. I don't know if that would have changed too much. I'm not. I can get spotlight when I need it, but that's not something that really like is my thing. I kind of like more of the backstage and shine from that place and talk when I need to. So I don't know. I don't know if that would have changed if I was a singer. So.
As a fan, what attracted you to his music?
You don't really have me talking up there.
Hey, I need the story. We doing a lot of
talking about
time. Yeah, when y'all in school together.
When we was in school together, first of all, his songs were so different. I'm like you were memorizing like when I first saw him on stage. But so it was like a talent show on campus, and seeing all the other artists go up, and they just the tracks wasn't mixed right. You know, sound like real ruffled, and then
Your professionalism got you some ass.
and then hearing him sing, and then like the lyrics that he had with it, and I was a big Lupe Fiasco fan at the time, and like I really was into like I would listen to lyrics and like, yo, he's really saying something and he's really talented. Like, why hasn't he blown up yet? That's how I thought. And coming from where I originated from, like music like that would have already been on the radio. So
Where you from?
That's cool.
I'm from up north, so Crown Point, Gary.
So once you got the management and stuff, how legit did you feel? Cause I mean, like even though when you know you got talent, I mean, there's certain things you add to it and shit. And it's like shit, 4 more stones. You know what I'm saying? You like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did that make it easier for you?
Yeah, it did, because I was able to focus on the creative side. Like, I didn't have to do so much of the business side anymore. Like, she could just handle, like, be the liaison, you know. If I need to, like, reach out for shows or anything, like, I don't have to do that, like, all by myself anymore.
Yeah.
It's a load lifted, man.
And being introverted and stuff, like sometimes you be like, man, I know I'm good enough to do this shit. I just don't want to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I identify with that totally. How hard? And then I just got a couple more questions from the manager. How hard is it for you knowing that you was once a fan, and now that you know what I'm saying, you with him?
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it for you knowing that he has other fans who will chop your head off and shit just to hold the mic next to him? Are you jealous at all?
No.
You not?
That's more money for us. We both eat.
She gonna pay for you. You for sale. No, that's what's up. What's your favorite? What's your favorite song with his?
Madam.
My favorite song of his?
Yeah.
Alright, I ain't gonna go back. Current songs, my favorite song of his. I'm stuck between two right now. So I feel like I really overplayed One Night Only. Really overplayed that. But I would have to say Terrance was my favorite song right
Tell
now.
you, man, that song hard in the morning. That song hard, man. And I wasn't just saying that song hard.
Check it out.
How long ago did you write that?
Today, about 2 years ago.
For real?
Yeah.
And do you write all your music?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's how come, like I say,
That's cool.
all great R&B singers or soul singers, they write their music. It's easy, and this how come some of the Motown singers, I don't give them as much credit as I do some people, because although they had hits, they had like incredible writing teams behind them. And I judge the best singers who are also songwriters, because it's a whole nother talent and stuff when you can write, sing, arrange, and all that stuff. So it's crazy, 'cause I believe that almost everybody who came up here is a songwriter themselves. And not to say that everybody has the same talent level, but they all doing it themselves, and that shit dope to me. How many videos you have? I know you have the Don't Sleep.
Yeah, I have the Don't Sleep remix. I have Tantra, of course.
Yeah.
I also have More Than Enough. Have another video where I did like a remix kind of mashup. And I have like a little fun video that I did to Eric Bellinger's Dabbing on Christmas. So every Christmas I put that out.
What's been your you trying to make that the new I can sing too. What's been your favorite video?
So far,
Yeah.
I don't know if I made it yet,
Okay.
but yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you direct them too, or do you like when you sit down, like when you writing the song? Is it like with the video? Are they your visions? Like you like we're gonna do this here, we're gonna do this here.
Yeah, like we kind of like come together and kind of like create the treatment for each video and like kind of like break down what I'm trying to see visually and try to bring it to life.
All right. Let me deviate from this music for a second. Cool fact I had to pull this one up. Your favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
You got one of mine. You got one of my top 5s on here. Before I say it honestly, do you think you can guess which one it is?
I'm gonna say 5 Heartbeats.
Definitely.
Hey!
Definitely. His list is Love Don't Cost a Thing, Pootie Tang, 5 Heartbeats, Good Burger, Roll Bounce, and Hustle and Flow.
I was in Roll Bounce. Little known fact.
Was
Oh
you?
yeah.
I'm in the background, nigga. Extra.
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 Was you for real?
Yeah.
Okay, cause he said kind of shit, I believe it, but he said it with a goddamn Joker
I was a
grin.
bus driver in the background, nigga.
5
I was
Heartbeats.
walking.
This is my thoughts about the 5 Heartbeats. First off, who was your favorite heartbeat?
Probably Eddie.
Man, that's my. He mine too, man. He mine too, man. Like, dang. But the thing about 5 Heartbeats, it was a fictional tale.
Mm-hmm.
It was based on the Dells. That's what
I
that
thought
one of the groups
it was a
influenced.
combination of groups.
Well, it probably was that, but the primary was the Dells.
Oh, okay.
And it's crazy because to me, in comparison to the Temptations movie, this one better. But the Temptations is a true story. You know what I'm saying? With a few fluffs. But 5 Heartbeats is one of the most incredible movies. My favorite scene on there is when Robert Townsend trying like he a teenager in that room with that girl singing. When they piecing the songs back together. I just can't buy the fact that Robert Townsend trying to play a teenager, man. He like every bit of 42. But that's my favorite scene on that movie. You ever seen 5 Heartbeats? I see you sat back.
I've seen it, but it's just like one of those movies where I'm not gonna go watch it again.
You definitely got to, man. That movie's a classic to
It's
me.
a great movie.
What's your favorite scene?
I've seen it plenty of times though.
Probably
The same shit.
the same one. Yeah, or probably when they started booing him and then he got on the mic and started singing.
See, I'm about to hit that motherfucking note, man. Something stop me, man. I'm about to fuck y'all ears up, man.
That
This
nigga's
is-
like,
I almost did it.
that's my part, nigga.
It's their hearts.
That's
Hey,
my shit.
that shit, I'm telling you. And I haven't seen Heartbeats. I'm not bullshit. Probably about 15 years. I definitely need to watch
That's
that
that
again.
fucking part.
That's a classic. I like Hustle and Flow too, man.
Very on the very different spectrum.
Welcome to Good Burger, home with a Good Burger. Man, I take your order, man. I'm a movie
That
person.
shit
And
was,
shit.
too.
I like that shit, but I've never seen Love Don't Cost a Thing. Is that the one with
That's
Christian
that nigga.
Milian?
Yep.
That Nick Cannon. Wasn't that a remake though?
Yeah,
It was
Okay.
based off of 80 movie.
Well, then I'll give you that. too.
Pootie Tang, is that was the Chris Rock?
Yep.
That's a
The
classic.
satire about how Hollywood was. You ever seen
Beautiful piece.
what is this movie? I know you had to see it. Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah.
Is it the same as that? That type of stuff?
Nah, it
It's
ain't the
not.
same. Like, it ain't even like CB4. It's just like that nigga.
Yeah.
That nigga's just like every nigga daddy. Like, and he got his. He just.
Is it
It's
something I
just
should
a
watch?
stupid. It's stupid as fuck,
Would
but
you
it's
recommend
funny.
it?
Yes, please watch it. Cause it's gonna be like this dumb, but this a classic though.
The roll bounce. I saw that. I just don't remember anything that stood out. That's Bow Wow.
Yep.
Roll bounce.
That could have been so much better.
If you could, and we always ask this question, if you could have an album that you could do with any two artists, dead or alive, who would that be with?
Man, it's kind of hard.
As she said.
You got two.
I'm gonna say Michael Jackson.
Hey.
Man, I'm gonna go with somebody alive. I'll throw Chris Brown in there.
Michael Jackson, Breezy. That'd be hard.
That's hard for me to picture. Can you dance?
I used to.
That's why he need them then.
Hey, you gonna pop them knuckles, get out there and spin around a circle with them.
He said, handle my lightweight, Mike.
Do you think it's fair for people to compare Chris Brown to Michael Jackson in any capacity?
The way I look at it is like Michael Jackson is like the father, Usher is like the brother, and Chris Brown is like the son.
Do you think it's fair that the Black Power Ranger had to be twice as talented as the rest of the Power Rangers because he had to fight and dance at the same time? You think that's fair?
I mean,
That's Jason. These are the Jace observations. And I don't know if it's coming a little bit older, man, but I just can't see the Michael Jackson comparisons and shit.
So Chris Brown?
To nobody.
Yeah.
To nobody. And I mean, it's just because we grew up, though.
Yeah.
Like, shit, moonwalking and shit.
Them shits was untouchable for a long time. Like, you couldn't even sample them shits for a
Y'all
long
remember
time.
Michael Jackson with lightweight beef with MC Hammer? Y'all remember that shit? When James Brown tried to instigate that shit? Y'all ain't know that, did y'all? Hammer had that video, and he had a video, he had there doing a little Hammer shit. And at the end of the video, James Brown was handing the glove or say, go get the glove or something like that. You don't remember it, do you?
Oh, wow.
Because James Brown was a dancing motherfucker.
I didn't know that turned into a thing.
Yeah. Of course, MC Hammer was nowhere near Michael Jackson, but that's what's up. What do you have coming up in the immediate future? Or if you have anything?
Working on any projects,
yeah,
anything like that?
I'm actually working on a couple projects. I plan on releasing different projects this year, more than one. Just giving more catalog to people. I feel like right now on all the platforms, I got like 4 singles. So
Yeah.
I need to like feed my people. I feel like I've been starving them. So
Yeah, for sure.
I have people reach out and tell me that you their favorite artist around here. And I'm not even bullshit, I'm dead serious.
So it's not, you don't even have a whole tape then. You got 4 singles that's just rocking out.
I actually got more songs on my YouTube
Okay.
and on my SoundCloud. I actually have I guess you can call it a mixtape or a playlist. It's called B45 playlist.
Nice.
And I also did like a project with Zero the Composer.
Okay.
So a little small little EP.
Okay.
So yeah, I got more than 4 songs.
No, obviously you got more than 4 songs. I was talking about your singles that are doing them very well.
Man, you know when we around, you the nigga we only got 4 songs. I can believe the nigga got
That's
40 minutes from now. Man, that nigga asked me do I got 4 songs in the car.
That's how niggas be.
On everything. But can you tell people where to find you at on social media?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram at Terrance Anderson 5. That's TERRANCE Anderson FIVE. And you can also find my music on YouTube at Terrance Anderson Music and all streaming platforms.
We doing a mixtape, man. We gonna need a song. You can give us one. It can be something old, something new, however you want to do it. Hold on, let me do this proper way. We doing a mixtape, and we need your client to give us a song, something old, something new. But nah, we should be releasing within a couple weeks. We've been accumulating songs. It should be a pretty nice project. It'll create visibility for artists around here. Okay. I always tell people that that's the reason we do this. For one, I like to talk. I always say I like hearing myself talk. I'll be saying some real shit. That's my favorite quote, man. I like hearing myself talk.
Like to hear himself talk.
I'll be saying some real shit. But in addition to that, man, I enjoy talent. Like I enjoy people who work hard, who and who also want to help other people along the way. It's always a privilege to just sit here and talk to y'all, for y'all to give us y'all time like that. So we always wish y'all the best, and we just, like, our thing is, we not trying to, like, I don't even know how I want to say it, but like, not trying to, for the first time ever, I'm at a loss of words. I'm speechless. We don't try to use people for our personal benefit. You know what I'm saying? We want to be equal. Yeah, exploit. We want to be, like I always say, me and Jason talk about it all the time. We talk about the barter system, where it's all, because we all not where we would desire to be a few years from now. But I always feel like you get to that point or to that mark by building each other up. I build you up, then you pull me up. If I spring forward, I pull you up, things like that. So it's always a privilege to have talented people like you on here, especially people who got their business together, who can influence and show other people how to do it. A lot of people can benefit from having managers, because everybody can't do everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need somebody who can go to bat for you, and that's a pretty good situation I got here. You got anything you want to say in closing, Jason, on the manager? You got any clients and shit you want to plug? You got people, you got, come on, Bobby Heenan talk.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Email me about that. No, I'm just kidding. I do have clients though, and if you want,
You believe that nigga said he thought you was my only client?
No,
You want to drop your email?
my
Or
email.
if you want them to, or whatever the
If you want
contact.
to,
Shit, Jason.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
it's
contact
okay.
information.
I do have a business called Make It Make Sense Management, and with that, if people are interested in learning more information about the business side and or are looking for a manager, hit me up at Make It Make Sense Management on Instagram.
Jason, you need a manager.
I do.
We need to get it to people, you know what I'm saying? They need to know your talent.
Hey,
Shit.
I'm trying to, like I said, I need a madam or a pimp, anybody who can whore out my talents for the good, the greater good.
No, he a fantastic comedian, though. You can delve into the comic world and stuff. Next thing you know, y'all combine talents. He got a Netflix show. He never mentions the Conceited Knowbody at no point during the show. That's life. That's life.
Hey, we like, hey,
Y'all go listen to my podcast.
nah,
What's
I'm just
that?
playing. But no, the Conceited Knowbody mixtape, that's what I'm working on. I want to do it. I'm working on another track for it, but if I can't get it done in time, then it'll be something else. But other than that, that's the main focus. And then On My Mind, I'm gonna start dropping new episodes of On My Mind soon on online. So you can see those on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We just did like a six or seven episode run the first time just to see how it went, and it went decent. So people be talking to me about that shit, and surprisingly enough. So I'm like, all right, maybe I guess I'll do it again, man. And then some people were like, yeah, I liked it, but you was cussing a lot. And I was like, but I had to say some real shit though.
Yeah.
We're talking about construction, man. You gotta cuss at fucking construction. But anyway, and then show on Valentine's Day at the Grays Event Center, 30th Street in Indianapolis.
Anything you want to say in closing?
Man, we offer for the TCK podcast. We offer free photo shoot and a free music video. You just I'll stay out there by y'all. So you can just book it through the podcast. We'll set up a day, we'll get up, come up with the idea, what you want to do, and we'll go from there. I do the photo shoots at the crib and then the video shoot, whatever we come up with, we can, go from there.
Follow Kodak Juvie for them video.
Oh yeah, and then what's episode 122?
Next week.
Streaming on all.
This
That's next week.
This
This
121.
121.
Yeah.
Episode 121 streaming on all platforms tomorrow morning. Make sure you check that out.
Thanks everybody tuning in. Another fantastic show, the best podcast you never heard of. Again, we want to thank the guests for coming through and kicking it. A very enjoyable show, enjoyable interview. We got some cool facts. If you want more, go follow Terrance Anderson and on Instagram at Terrance Anderson 5, spelled out F-I-V-E. And you also can go listen to that tantrum so I can be validated. I need y'all to be like, yeah, he told me that, because I need that right now in my life. He was right. I need a few he was rights. So when y'all go check that shit out, come back and let us know what y'all think of it. As Juvie said, the episode will be available tomorrow, YouTube. It'll be on Spotify tonight, so as we finish here, and it's live on Spreaker now. We'll catch y'all next week. Same time, same channel. We'll holler at y'all.
The Conceited Knowbody. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m.